like it too, but our guys really had showed some poise and came back with a resiliency that was able to score points. Defensively, we played really well. Special teams, do some things that allowed us to impact the field position, with punt blocks and our returns versus their returns. And so a lot of really good play. Played a lot of guys that went on the trip, and they showed they're capable, very ready to play, and just kind of pour into this team any way they can. But it was great to finish up our conference game with a win on the road, and now get ready for the last regular season game coming up.
When you get down 14-0, how important you guys struck back so quickly? You got the 50-yard run from Rashad, and then as you mentioned, the block punt from Stephon Hicks, and then a long pass to Devin Thompson. How important to be able to hit big plays to get back in the game so quickly?
Yeah, it's just, the resiliency of things. Obviously, the first drive was 14 plays, they score. And then the next one was, kind of a missed opportunity on an interception or a tackle and didn't happen. And then they get a long explosive play. So you limit those things, then you have a chance. And so responded back with, Rashad's return, the block kick and score by Stephon Hicks, who I believe is leading the country right now with block kicks. It's amazing. And then the aspects of throwing the ball deep, creating our own explosive plays, whether it's Rashad's run or DT's catch or Tyler Hughes's throw and throws and his feet, his legs as well. So and then defensively settled down and had guys making plays and getting involved. I think 4 sacks and a bunch of hurries. But that's football. That's the pendulum that goes back and forth. You'd rather not start as slow, but at the same time, you'd rather finish. And our guys were able to do that and play a highly competitive game, even though those first 2 scores they got, might not look that way. But in the end, I just thought we played extremely well, and then had 3 penalties, just different things that have helped us over the season, to be highly competitive.
We've talked about your special teams quite a bit on these calls, and especially the success you've had blocking kicks. Except for Stephon, as you said, I think he's one shy now of the FCS record of block punts. What has enabled him to have so much success, and what have you guys been able to do as a team to have so much success?
Yeah, Stephon is very coachable. Just coach, I'll play wherever you want me to play. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Coach Blastock has done a good job with our special teams units and game planning and utilizing strengths that each player has and come up with different things. And so he's the special teams part of it they've embraced it, and it's become a significant part of who we are and what we do. And Stephon is he's another player that says, Coach, how can I help this team win? And he's embraced his role. And so he even played some snaps on the regular downs as well. I believe he was involved with the sack. So there's some things, we got to continue to keep doing, even though we're at the latter part of the season, to try to put players in position to make plays. And Stephon's going to be a really good player for us.
And to hit one more on the offense, Rashad, I mentioned the big run. He finished with over 114 yards. Running the football has been so big for you guys over the past several years, and you seem to have gotten better and better at it as the years gone along. Talk about his development from week 1 to where he is now.
Yes, Rashad was a transfer portal guy that came in, got used to his teammates, the culture, the expectations. Perry Jones is my running backs coach. Perry was a captain for me at UVA and has done a really good job of merging the two personalities and the expectations of, if you want to be really good, this is what you can do. And so Rashad brought a skill set in where he can run and he's physical, and he embraced his role and the things that he can do for this team. And that 50-yard plus gain was just, I mean, a lot of it had to do with the offensive linemen too, doing a great job with their blocking, but also being experienced enough that you watch a block and you cut, you jump cut, and you make it, and you go and you run away from guys. That's skill set. So having him on our team has helped us a lot. He's dynamic, and we look forward, not only for that game, but this game coming up, and if any other future opportunities present itself.
Defensively, after you could fall behind 14-0, and you kind of touched on it, I think your defense allows like one first down over the next seven possessions. Unbelievable number. What was the adjustment that's made, and what were you able to do so effectively to shut Hampton down?
I mean, yeah, it's adjustments and making tackles. You're the right fit. You double team to if you're solo blocked and different things like that. And then a few missed tackles early on that it allowed extensive, explosive plays. So when you settle down, you play the game plan, what you've practiced, and you have a total buy-in of guys like what, okay, we've been here before. That was evident, but it showed itself to turn around really quickly. After the second score. And then as the game started to wear on, guys are put themselves in position, making plays, just trusting the technique, tackling well, better, and limiting any of the injuries. I mean, so we had a lot of players that played, which is good. But just sometimes tough things happen. You got to respond to it, and so these guys have done that throughout this season.
You guys now won 5 out of 6, and with that, have clinched a winning season for a fifth year in a row. That hadn't been done at William and Mary for, I think, in excess of 30 years. How proud does that make you, and what does that talk will say about the program that you've been able to build?
Wow. It's humbling, because the building that I'm standing in is named after Jimmy Laycock, and I was an assistant coach for Coach, and he's done a lot of great things for this program. But it's also an opportunity to celebrate the fact that William Mary football continues on to having success. And when you have that those accolades like that, then it's about the coaches and the players that have been here that are poured into that, and the long legacy of players that have been here and done great things here at William Mary. So I'm honored as a head coach to embrace what you just said, Rob, but know that we all stand on the shoulders of someone else, and know that that it's a full effort from AD Man to sport administrators, Cray Lockley, Jason Sims, President Rowe, just everyone that buys into and then lends their help wherever they could in terms of making this program successful. So very honored, and just kind of again keep looking forward to the next step and next opportunities.
Big one for you on Saturday. Your rival, the Richmond Spiders, coming to town. What makes this rivalry so good, and what are some of the challenges that this year's Richmond team present?
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and so I've been on both sides, wearing the hat both sides, and as a player, it's one of those. It's one of the oldest rivalries in the South. It's the Capital Cup. It's bragging rights. It's water cooler talk on Monday. It's a lot of things. It's the last opportunity as CAA opponents, because the next one will be next year's opportunity, in another league, in Patriot League. So, I've known Russ for a long time. Obviously there's a lot of similarities in people that we know, kids that we recruit, the areas of coaches and the influence of players in and around the area. And it's a privilege, it's a privilege to represent a rivalry game. We have two premier academic institutions that also can compete for championships, and know that in the state of Virginia, the 804 versus the 705 is what it is. But it'll be another great game. Hopefully sold out. I know there'll be a lot of people here for this last game, and then we're looking forward to the opportunity to play a really good Richmond team.
And also senior day for you. Just talk about your group of seniors who'll be playing for the last time for you.
Yeah, there's a large amount of seniors that are getting their degree, and that's the other thing. Guys are going to be graduating. Take immense pride in guys graduating with a degree here at William Mary. Guys that are leaving were part of the 22 CAA championship team. So there's a leadership component to all that as well. Their family members and loved ones celebrating with them as they celebrate their last game, but also just knowing that they've made an impact on the program. You talked about the last 5 years and having winning seasons. These guys have been part of that, kind of the landscape of that. So it'd be tough to see them go, but I know it's going to be they're going to go to their next phase of whatever life has for them, life after football. Maybe if they're continue to keep playing, or be presidents or CEOs of companies and do well, from being a citizen, a solid citizen, because they're great people here. So I'm happy for them, love them, appreciate them, all they've done for the program, and the goal is to help them go out with a positive win on Saturday.
All right, Mike, thanks for the time today, all season long.